Okay, welcome to today's Road to Rank call. I'm really excited to talk about what's been on my mind today and how we can shift things coming into November and December, holidays, New Year's resolution goals starting in January, which I kind of find it funny. The more I've learned about my health, I try to make a New Year's resolution regardless of if it's January 1st or not. And I really want to help shift that with the people that we are sharing our products with, because I feel New Year's resolutions to make a goal for 365 days is literally impossible, in my opinion. Like to be like, I'm going to eat healthy for 365 days and starting in 2023. Let's be real, you guys. We are human. There are parties and birthdays and holidays and kids' class parties. Like, it's hard to make a goal for that long. And I really want to focus on making maintainable goals for the people that we are sharing our products with. I know Nicole is driving, so I'm going to have her add in when she can. And when she gets home, she can put more input in this. But for those of you that did not hear, Nicole and I had the opportunity to meet the new CEO of Plexus on Friday night, this last Friday night. So just a little bit, about a week ago. A lot of people didn't even know that we had a new CEO. And if you did not know, this is your formal announcement that Tarl, who has led the company for about 14 years, has stepped aside for someone to take the new role. Now, when I got the email from Tarl, I'm going to be honest, I panicked a little bit. I was sending Emily Gibson messages like, what the crap happened? And let me add this in there. My CEO of my company that I work for as a nurse also had stepped down like the week before Tarl did. So feeling that much change in a week span, I was like, oh my gosh, the world, like the zombies are coming. Like I really felt like this is shaking my world. Why is there so much change? And if you know me well enough, I do not adjust to change well. So Emily sent me a message back. She has been friends with Gene for many years. He is amazing, you guys. He is from American Fork, Utah. He has 3 kids, moved to Arizona about 5 years ago, and has been part of Plexus for the last 5 years. Now, I want to explain to you how Tarl explained why he decided to step aside. So he described his business, Plexus, as his baby. He never wants his baby to grow up. He's so sad that he has to allow his baby to grow. And I actually felt those feelings today at Hudson's haircut, who was 5. I was looking at my 1-year-old and I'm like, he really needs a haircut. But you guys, I'm avoiding to get his haircut because I know once I cut his hair, he's no longer my little boy anymore. And I know Carly can relate with this because we've had this conversation before, but I refuse to cut my 1-year-old's hair. And I'm like, no, he's my baby. He's going to stay my baby forever. And that's how Tarl feels about Plexus. He wants his baby to be where his comfort is. Like Plexus, where it's at right now, is comfortable for him. And he has no drive to make the company bigger, make more money, have more incentives, all of that. And Gene, who is now taking over, has the drive. And I'll be honest, hearing it from Emily, I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better. But meeting him in person, and I know Nicole can agree with this, you guys, he is going to take our company to a $1 billion company. That is his goal starting in the next year. He's like, it's like a big cruise ship. This is how he explained it to me when I met him. He's like, I want you to think of it like a big cruise ship. Like I can't turn the wheel like this, like you would in a speedboat, and have the boat turn. If I turned the boat in a cruise ship, when I turn it, it's going to take hours to turn all the way around like that. So he's like, right now I am turning the wheel, but I want to do it the right way. I don't want to go through any loopholes. I don't want to miss anything. I'm bringing the basics back into Plexus. He was like, I want someone, and he told me this because I got to sit right by him, and you better believe it, I had sweat tacos. I was like, I am sitting next to the CEO of Plexus right now. And Nicole was sitting across from me so she could see his face, but like sitting right next to him, I literally was like, oh my gosh, did I put too much perfume on? Do I stink? Like, you know, that feeling of like, oh my gosh, this guy, I admire him and respect him so much. But he has the drive to take our business to higher places. And he told me, he said, I want my customers who are ordering through my ambassadors to feel like they just left Chick-fil-A. Now, we've all had bad experiences at many restaurants, including Chick-fil-A. I know Nicole has. So I want you to remember the experience that you did have at Chick-fil-A, that you felt valued. because you ordered chicken nuggets. Okay. So he was like, I want my website to be so user-friendly that not one time is an ambassador calling customer service to fix an issue because of the freaking website. And I know all of you guys have probably had frustrations with the website. I know I have. And I know a lot of people are texting me being like, this website is so confusing. I don't know what to do. They get frustrated and they just turn their sub off because they're so mad at the website. You guys, I had a girl in Arizona not order through me because she was so frustrated with the website. She started to ghost me and then just drove to the warehouse, to the corporate office, and just bought it at the store. And she told me it was because of the website. So Gene, his name is Gene Tips. If I didn't say that, you can look him up on Google. His name will appear. He is a very well-respected business-minded man. He is going to take our business and Plexus to a whole nother level. Now, with that said, who has felt a weird energy since like October 1st? If you're not raising your hand, I want you to raise your hand, because I think a lot of people, ambassadors, are feeling the heaviness of October and point attrition and people pushing their subs off and people ghosting you, even though they said they wanted the products. I want you to know something. So Gene, who was sitting right next to me, he shared that we are technically in a recession right now. Like, I know that we've been talking about in the news, and you know that things have shifted in the last couple of years since COVID and the pandemic, and people losing their jobs and interest rates going up and rates going up. Like, I have a lot of people that are in my neighborhood, you guys, that are very successful people, and they are struggling financially to make ends meet. And it is because of what is happening economically in the world right now, financially in the world right now. So I actually want you to pat yourself on the back right now. And even Gene told me that sitting next to him, because we actually still hit, even through the hardest times of the world, we still hit the top 25 businesses in the entire world. That is pretty incredible. He shared that we are financially debt-free. Like, what company is financially debt-free and is confident that they could pay their ambassadors what they are paying us to ride the storm? We are all feeling that same energy. I mean, Emily shared that she went down like 2,000 points. So I know at times when I fell back 350 points, I'm like, oh my gosh, that hurt. Like 350 points. Can you imagine opening your back office? And I think Brooke at one point lost like 3,500 points. So I want you to know we are riding the storm right now. And that is why I'm so grateful for this team, this community, because we are going to get through it. And he was confident that in the next 90 days, now remember, he's turning a huge cruise ship, not a speedboat. It is going to take some shifting, some adjusting, some tweaking inside the corporate office to reflect his ambassadors. He also said this, and this will always stay true to why I love this business and for who I work for and what they stand for many years to come, because I have worked for the same company for 15 years now, and I've never felt value like I did that night. He said, I will never make a decision that doesn't benefit the ambassador the best. You guys, that's us. That's not like his office staff or his wife, who is darling, by the way, but it was his ambassadors that are representing his products, his company, the decisions that they're going to make within corporate level. He wants to make sure it benefits his ambassadors, which I'm like, what company has ever done that? I mean, when I worked through the thick of COVID as a registered nurse, we were required to work overtime, short-staffed. I know that Amanda can come on here and say the same thing because she was an ER nurse at the time. You guys, we were short-staffed all through COVID and burning ourselves out dry, not being able to wear certain PPE and not getting overtime pay. And we had to kind of ride the storm all through that. And it wasn't like I just like quit my job. I mean, there were a lot of nurses that did walk away from their profession, but I still had to make ends meet. So I had to ride that storm until it got better. And it is better. Healthcare is a lot better than it used to be a year ago. Still really busy and hard. And there's some things that have shifted financially and ethically and even politically in my industry of healthcare, but I didn't walk away from my job. So I want, oh wait, is someone talking? Sorry, if you guys want to add anything, please do. So with that said, you guys, we are all riding this storm together. And as today, throughout this call and the training that we're going to go over, I want you to keep that in mind on how you can prepare yourself for a really busy month. In historic months past, November has been a really good month because this is the time that you can prep people that you've been talking to, or white lions, or people that are starting the products, to not just start their New Year's resolution goal on January 1st, but to start it now. Why do we have to wait 60 days from now to achieve not just a 365-day goal, but a lifetime goal? I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, we're going to eat at this restaurant and I know you love their quesadillas. You should just like cheat tonight and eat gluten. And I'm like, do you honestly think that me cheating on a quesadilla that I do love is worth it for my lifestyle change I've made, for the reason why I've changed it? I know what my body can do if I keep giving it gluten. It's not just an allergy. It could essentially give me another autoimmune. So I want you to shift the way that you are talking to people on, why are we waiting 60 days? And go do a post about this. And if you have a good verbiage post that you love, share it with the rest of us. I actually love Sammy Stewart's. If you haven't seen her recent post, she's walking in the street. Actually, I haven't commented. I need to go comment on that. I loved how she worded that. Why are we waiting till Thanksgiving? Why are we waiting till Christmas? Why are we waiting till January 1st to make some small lifestyle adjustments to a healthier lifestyle? Now, as a nurse, one of our core values with Intermountain Healthcare here in Utah is to help people live their healthiest lives possible. I'm not saying I'm here to make your healthy 365 days and then I'm out. Peace. I helped you in 2022 and I am out of here. No, I want to help everyone live their best, healthiest lives possible in ways that we can help prevent over prescribing things. And this is sitting next to a guy, you guys, who is prescribing medications. So it's like, I want you to know that as we promote prevention over prescription medications, and as we promote prevention over illness, because that's another big deal, is we are feeding ourselves illness. And so I really want to shift in the next 90 days to really push for that New Year's resolution on verbiage, on how to reach out to people, how to help people understand that this is not just a 365 shift. This is a lifestyle daily change. And I'm really excited about the Black Friday deals that I know that they will announce. I have not seen anything yet. Even as a Jewel, they have not announced anything, but in years past, they always do something fun for Black Friday. I actually love the holiday gift sets that you can order. In fact, I know Chris is not showing her face right now, but she just, instead of ordering her monthly subscription, she had some extra product that her and her husband's accounts just kind of had an overflow of. And so instead of letting that run through, she bought some gifts today. Like, what better way to network ideas and the samples and products and give a gift away to a teacher or a neighbor? We all have that network within our own homes right now. So, and rather than buying more product to sit on the shelf, why are we not investing in that money we would have spent on others to help network? And that's actually what I'm going to talk about until Nicole takes over. But I am going to talk about.
Can I just add in? I was just going to say that the reason why they are doing such a large amount of cash back this month is so that people can afford their Christmases. And this is a great opportunity to have real honest conversations with people, because like, I know the closer you get with people, the more they open up, right? And everyone that I'm close to that I think is doing well, and maybe they are because I see them buying stuff, right? We see people buying stuff and we're like, oh, everyone's doing well. But then they open up about how they stress out about money. Like, I know one of Jess's friends who looks like she's doing completely well, doesn't feel like she can afford to pay for Christmas. And I know a friend of mine that looks like she's doing completely well, but she said she's always stressed out about money. And so this is a time to have open conversations with people. And I think a lot of times we get in our head thinking people can't afford this because we're in a recession. But guess what? The lines at Disneyland are still full. Like, you can't even, I saw somebody's post there, you can't even get a Lamborghini right now because they're sold out. Like, the money is there. We just need to help people like see the value in it, and then also see the value in what they can create for their family through sharing these products. And so it takes us tweaking things and the way that we do things. And I'm going to drop something in our team thread today about this. This girl is so open and raw, and she does a makeup company but I want you guys to like go and listen to it and listen to the way that she talks to people. And I feel like it is just so relatable. And I want you to take a look at your page and think, is this relatable? Like, do people feel like I'm that girl next door that they can come and talk to? And I think that's what it takes for people to feel comfortable jumping in with you, you know? So I just thought I'd add that.
No, and I love that. And I actually, before it was on my mind while she was talking, I just shared a message in the Road to Rank message thread that I saw this floating around through another sidelight team, not one of ours, and I actually it hit home to me when Nicole was like, the Disneyland lines are still full. I want you guys to use this message and maybe retweak it to sound like you, but she's not wrong. When we went to Arizona for Josh's graduation, you guys, the airports, that was the busiest I have ever seen the airport. I was like, did I miss something? Because everybody's traveling right now. And my sister was traveling like 2 days later to go on a cruise. Like people, you guys, I think it's just all about shifting their priorities and understanding that like you spending $3.50 at Starbucks every day, let's shift some things. And I don't think that's wrong. I used to be that girl that used to go and get a Dr. Pepper all the time. And then that slowly added up. I just think it's helping them remind themselves that the money is there. It's just your priorities need to shift a little. And guess what? We get to offer financial abundance too, not just paying for our products. We can help them earn another $800 this month on top of the incentives that are already going to help them pay for Christmas. And the girl that Nicole was talking about, you guys, looking on the outside, you'd be like, they do not struggle financially. They do not, they're totally fine. And for her to open up to me, I was like, wait, what? And she's like, I need to do Plexus. This is such a blessing in my life. What do I have to do? And she just texted me literally an hour before this call and said, can you help me come up with some posts to post this weekend? I want you to ignite people. You don't have to be flashy. Don't go be flashy on your Instagram or your Facebook, but really give the opportunity to people saying, I know that these are really hard times. I get it. I get that some live paycheck to paycheck and some cannot afford certain things. But I am here to offer you financial abundance in your home. This is what I'm going to help you. Like, allow yourself to be not like a money coach, but be a financial coach. There's nothing wrong with that. Help them feel that financial relief in their home. And I do believe that financial stress can actually cause physical and emotional and mental illness. I truly do. I believe that a lot of moms that look on the outward thinking that everyone is financially stable and she is struggling to pay for her mortgage or groceries every month, she is depressed and she needs gut healing and the support of financial relief. So, okay, we're going to talk about networks for a minute. You guys, I have to go to my dentist appointment and they could only get me in at 2 today. So Nicole's going to take over in just a minute and I will be in my car listening, but I want to talk about networking for a minute. So in the month of October, we all felt that kind of like weird low energy. I've heard it from many, many of you, including myself. I've complained to my husband about it. But what are you doing to network yourself outside of what you feel is comfortable and what you've been trained on for so long? You've been trained to post 3 times a week of Plexus, post your personal life, post, and you're getting crickets. You're like, well, I've tapped out. Everybody on my Facebook feed does not want to be friends or not friends. They don't want to order Plexus through me. Like I'm done. I'll tell you.
Well, and let me just say though, if you're not posting that amount, people have no idea that you're even doing this.
Well, and that's the thing. If you don't post,
you still got to be consistent.
Yeah. So I'm not saying stop doing that. You need to still post that your business is open. It's just like when you're driving by the taco shop and it looks dead. You're like, oh, they're closed because they have no open sign. Make sure that you keep your open sign on. But the one thing that I have been trying to do, and I know there are a few leaders on this call that are doing the same thing, you need to start networking outside of what you've been doing. Because guess what? As you network, guess who you're going to add on Facebook? Susie from the Halloween classroom party. You guys, I got asked to be the room mom, which I'll be honest, when I got asked, I was really negative about it. I was like, are you kidding me? Like one more thing to my plate. I have to now be a room mom to 32 students. I don't want to do that. Well, guess what? I met 6 new moms on Halloween, and guess who added me on Facebook? 6 new friends that have no clue what I do, because I didn't talk about Plexus one time at that party. That's awkward, right? Unless you're a Plexus unicorn, which we should all be next year so that we can just advertise ourselves. But I love that, Krista. But I made 6 new friends. And guess what? I also, the teacher, I had my pink drink with me. She's like, what are you drinking? And I was like, oh, my pink drink. She's like, wait, I've heard of that before. So now my daughter's teacher is now my 7th. I don't have her a friend on Facebook, but I want you to find ways to network in the next 90 days, because guess what's coming up in the next 90 days? I know every single one of you will be invited to a Christmas or a Thanksgiving social event. I guarantee it, even if it's family related or a neighborhood event. I know it can be scary or daunting to go to these things and be like, oh, I don't like Susie. I don't want to go hang out with Susie. Go hang out with Susie, you guys, because Susie might change your business and Susie might need a friend. And even though Susie might be annoying, she might change everything for you. And you might actually end up liking Susie. So that is my goal over the next 90 days, is finding places to network. Where am I going to go today? You guys, Amanda was sitting at the airport today. And the whole time I knew she was at the airport, I'm like, ooh, she could network right now. Now it takes time and a place for it, right? But did you know that one of Emily's biggest builders right now, she just went Fast Start Gold. She met her at the airport. She had no clue who this girl was before the airport. Emily Gibson was like, hey, you're flying to Utah too. Where are you from? And they met. She actually came to Gold School and she just hit Fast Start Gold. So as you network, you're going to expand your social media network, which you've been posting and keeping your doors open. And now there's new people in your store. And they're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, wait, I've heard of Plexus. Oh, I've seen that pink drink before. Can you tell me more? So what are you doing? And if you're already doing that, how are you networking while you're there? Do you feel shame about what you do? Do you feel shame that you are a network marketer? Because 2 years ago, I probably still would have said, yes, I have shame. And now I have let that go over the last year. Yes, I do network marketing. I do. Changed my world. And yes, I actually told Nicole this the other day. I need to stop saying that I've had life-changing results, because I feel like people are saying, well, I can't share because I didn't have life-changing results like you have. But I truly could tell my team right here, you guys, I had life-changing results. I did 100%. If you knew me 4 years ago, you would have said you're a different person. But to me now, as I network, I'm going to say I've really been able to fill in the gaps that my health needed. I still struggle. You guys, I still get sick. I still have a headache now and then, but
Because we don't want people to feel like they have to have life-changing results to do the business.
yes,
Because truthfully, they don't. So what if they didn't have life-changing results? The products still work. The products are still making their health better.
well,
The
and
products are still filling in the gaps, whether they felt those gaps or not yet. I like to say yet, because I believe the longer those gaps go unfilled, that's when it starts to manifest, right? So maybe they're not filling it yet, but they will. And so the products are still working, whether they have life-changing results or not.
well, and I want you to let them know when you're texting them, like, because there are a lot of people. I don't know if by raise of by hands or you put a yes in the chat. Who do you have in your network that is already taking the products that are like, oh, I've only been able to, like, the only difference I've seen is I poop every day and I don't like have a headache every day. I have maybe one a week when they were chronically having them, but like, they're like, my story is not yours. I want you to celebrate pooping every day and having one headache a week. Life-changing. Not in those words, don't say life-changing, but celebrate the victory of them seeing the result. And who was it? Someone told me, I cannot remember who told me this. I think it was Emily Gibson. Emily was telling me that sometimes when she gets a text, in the little paragraph of that response, you'll see all of the negative, like, I'm still not pooping well, I am having bloating, but my energy's been good. She doesn't even focus on that first part of the paragraph. She only emphasizes the energy. Oh my gosh, tell me more. What are you noticing about more energy? She kind of twists that negativity to a positive outcome. And then as she's wrapping up the conversation, she's like, okay, we are going to focus on pooping this week. Tell me what your current regimen and diet has been this week. She really highlights, and then she kind of twists it to, what are you going to do in the next week to help you poop more? Because Plexus is doing its job. We just might have to tweak a little bit of something, or you might have to start drinking more than 20 ounces of water. Because you better believe your bottom dollar, you don't weigh 40 pounds. And all of you guys have gotten those messages like, how much water are you drinking? Oh, I'm drinking plenty. I am drinking like 20 ounces. You're like, okay, little Susie, let's talk. Another thing that I've been doing is talking to people about their product leftover if they're really staying consistent. I want to hurry and pull something up, and then I'm going to turn the time over to Nicole. So I have a girl, you guys, that has been on the products for some time, and she was never seeing results ever. Well, she texted me the other day and she's like, you know what? I think Plexus keeps coming to my mind again. And I think it's time for me to go on another full regimen, because she was just taking the slim. And I was like, awesome. Would you mind just sending me a picture of what products you have left over so that I can help get your regimen going? Can you guys see this picture? So that's one picture. Let me show you the next one. That's her other picture. She has 9 bags of slim and she's been on the products for 12 months. So now I'm helping her do the math. And I'm like, okay, so you've been consistent, but can you tell me how often you were taking the pink drink? Like, can you define consistency to me? Because 9 bags of slim blows my mind. So I wasn't rude. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, you were not consistent. I just said, hey, can you help me understand what consistently looks like for you? Because a consistent habit for her may look different for a consistency habit for me. For me, working out Monday through Saturday, that's my consistency of moving my body. But to someone that's like, yeah, I move consistently, that might be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I allowed and put that ball into her court. And she told me, I've always had a hard time staying consistent with anything because it overwhelms me. So I just took it when I remembered. And I'm like, oh, that explains so much with her personality. Let's find a regimen instead of doing a full-blown regimen, because you have every product that Plexus offers. Let's just start small. You've already been taking the pink drink this last week every day. Let's add in 1 BioCleanse. Can you do that? Meet them where they're at, because this girl's going to be a white line for 9 months because she has 9 bags of slim. Guess who ordered 2 days ago as a white line? This girl. She did not order the triplex. She ordered the collagen and the skin care line. So as we got talking and diving in, and I was like, just tell me what like the top 3 goals you would love to see. And she's like, my number 1 thing is my skin. My skin bugs me so bad. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't we add in something that you could just add to your pink drink, something that you're doing already day, and you can replace your night serum that you're using and your face wash with Plexus because of the microbiome activating benefits that Plexus offers with our skincare line. And she was like, wait, what? I didn't even know they had a skincare like line. So we got talking, and this is something that she knows she can stay consistent with. So she was a white line order 2 nights ago. And I turned to my husband because he knows her. And I'm like, guess who just ordered? And it probably threw him off because he knew that I was like, she had 9 bags of slim. That is not consistent. So it's all about meeting them where they're at and putting the ball in their court versus taking that ball and kind of throwing it at their face. Like, what? You have 9 bags of slim? So really just meet them where they're at. I want you to continue on finding ways to network. Look at your holiday parties. What is coming up on your schedule? Do you need to go to your kids' school for any reason to help out with a school party? Do you need to help a neighbor? Is she having surgery and you need to bring someone dinner? That is networking, you guys. I have a neighbor about to have surgery, and I already know I'm going to bring her dinner, not just because I want her to have Plexus. I know it would benefit her, but where are you networking to become friends with more people, to expanding what you already have in your back pocket? And there are lots of people in that funnel watching you silently. I promise you that. Krista was in this funnel, you guys, for freaking 3 years. That funnel, I didn't like network outside to get her. We've always been friends, but if I would have never kept on posting, would she have ever ordered? So keep your business open, but start to network to allow people to come into your store. So that's all I have to share. I'm going to turn the time over to Nicole. I will be in listening.
I love that. I love everything you shared.
Really quick, when we're done with the call, you guys, I'm recording the call, but I am leaving my house. So this guy is going to be the end recording the call. So when you're done with the call, can you just say, hey, Josh, or just send him a text and he'll stop there.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Jess. I love everything you shared. And I honestly feel like it's just like mic drop. We're good. Let's go to work. I don't feel like I need to add anything, but I kind of sound like a smoker or something. I don't know if you can tell. I've had this really, really weird cold that's like been this lingering cough. I don't even know. And so I'm glad it's finally getting better, but I'm sorry if you can tell. So don't kick that because it makes it wiggle. Okay, don't kick that, please. I got a little friend here on my lap. He's been very good. So hopefully can you be quiet for the call? Okay. So, I do think with what Jess was saying, her last thing about her friend ordering that she thought would be a white line for 9 months. So many times we tell ourselves stories about why people turned off their sub. And I wanted to say something about this because oftentimes when someone turns off their sub, we immediately create a story in our head of they didn't like the products and now they don't like me. Can you guys relate to that? Like even on a subconscious level, it's like, great. They don't trust me anymore. They don't like me. They just thought I was trying to sell them something. Like we create these stories in our head, right? And I do this all the time. And so I've had some people over the years that I thought would love the products or thought were liking the products that turned off their sub and stopped ordering. And I get in my head about reaching out to those people. But you guys, most of my enrollments over September and October were people that were a white line for a year that came back. Which to me, I'm like, that is so interesting that every time I run into them, I'm nervous about what they think about me because I think that they think that I sold them something that was garbage and they didn't like it and now they don't like me. Do you guys do that? And so I'm like, so interesting that I have people that have been watching my consistency with posting and showing up and taking the products and sharing my experience and sharing the business, and they have come back around and they have expressed that they like it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was all in my head. And so when somebody turns off their sub, I want you to notice the story that you are telling yourself. Are you making it about you? Because I know the majority of you and me on this call do that. And it's holding you back. It's holding you back from talking to them about the business. It's holding you back from really serving and helping your customers. And I've had a very dear friend of mine that actually, when I first met her, reached out to me about her business with Q Science, which is a similar gut health company, right? Ours is better. I'm not biased or anything. But so when we first met at the gym, she actually went home and ended up messaging me on Instagram and talking to me about Q Science. And I said, oh, I do Plexus. And she was like, well, how long have you done it? And at the time it was like 2 years or, or whatever it was. And she never went anywhere with Q Science. She was just barely starting, and she started for the business. She didn't start because of her love for the products, but she loves health. So I have patiently been developing a relationship with her. Like, she's become one of my dearest friends. Some of you know her. And she ordered the products for 2 months and quit. You know how hard that was for me? It was so hard. I have been cultivating this relationship with someone that I know likes the business model, didn't do Q Science, and now she's quit and didn't really fall in love with the products. And I looked her in the eyes one day this summer and I said, if you never order the products from me ever again, you will still be one of my dearest friends. I don't care. And she goes, well, gosh, I hope so. And I love that raw, vulnerable relationship that I've been able to have with her. Well, guess what? I didn't even realize that she logged into her account in September and she ordered again. And last month she ordered again. You guys, we make up stories in our head and it gets in the way of us serving our customers. And my stories in my head about her kept me from really giving her the support that she needed the first time. And guess what I'm going to do this time? I am going to give her all of the support and pray that maybe this time is the time where she comes around. And I know there's other people on this team, like Jill Carson. She was somebody that ordered, quit after a month, came back around, and is now pushing for Emerald. How incredible is that, you guys? I just want you to be aware of these stories. These stories in your head are why you are not growing. It is what is holding you back from developing new leaders. And I truthfully, like, looking at the cash money graphic that people can make this month, I think if I'm wrong, you can correct me, but I think it was like $800 for 6. Is that right? Like $800 that you can make when you enroll 6 people this month. I'm blown away by that. That is an incredible amount of money. Incredible amount of money. That's enough to pay for some people's Christmases. And so I don't want you to be shy and to hold back because of the stories that you're telling yourself. And I've said this so many times, you're not what you think, you're not what others think about you. You're what you think others think about you. Okay? And we do this so often. And so I asked Krista Barron to share because she just had somebody go gold, which is just so exciting. And she said, well, it's not a traditional approach. And I said, oh, good. I'm so excited. Like, that's perfect, because I don't think there's like any traditional approach, because everybody is so different and so unique, and you have to really learn to meet them where they're at. And so I asked her to just talk a little bit about this, because Krista is actually really awesome at not holding back about the business. She's not shy about it, and she talks to people about it, and she's open about it. And that is, there's proof in the reason why she's grown so fast is because she's not letting what other people think about her hold her back. And that's why I asked her to share. So I'm excited to hear a little bit about your take on sharing the business or helping people rank up, Krista. So whatever you feel like sharing, please like share all the details, because we love the nitty gritty. So
awesome. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Not if you can hear me. Okay. So Mindy is one of my level ones that just went gold last month. And Mindy is one of those people that when you meet her, she just is dynamic. She's got that personality that she just likes to tell you exactly what she's thinking. She wants to be your friend, but she's not going to cut you any crap. You know, she just is awesome. And she's been through a whole lot in her life. She was in a terrible car accident when she was a teenager that she was driving, and it literally pushed her from the driver's seat. She got T-boned, and it pushed her from the driver's seat all the way into the passenger seat. And they told her if she'd been wearing her seatbelt, she would have died. But because of that, she's had really terrible back pain and things. And a few months ago, she was talking in church, and she was talking about her pain issues and all of those things. And I was like, like, sounds like she could use ease and a few other things. And we are on the Relief Society committee together for the activities or whatever. And it went down to, it went to church, and she saw me after I'd been on the products for a while and was like, you look so good. What are you doing? And I told her it was Plexus. And she was like, oh, Chris Ockwin. Do you know Chris Ockwin? And I was like, no, I don't know Chris Ockwin. I didn't know Chris Ockwin then. And I was like, she was like, oh, she used to talk about Plexus all the time. And she used to tell me all the time that I needed Plexus, but she never brought me any samples or anything. And so you better believe that afternoon after church, I was walking my little bum down to Mindy's house with a bag full of samples. And I was like, Mindy, here are some samples, and try this and try that and try this. And she ended up trying them. And like 2 days later, she was signed up and sold. And then I told her, you know, you're going to love these products. I know you're going to love them. She hated the reset. She hated the broth. And she was like one of my first ones that did it. And so we didn't know all the tips and tricks and how to mix everything and how to make it better. And she told me very openly how much she hated the broth and the reset. But within a week, she was like, you know what is so funny is I am not tempted at all by the candy bowl at work. And then pretty soon it was, you know what's so awesome is that active. I come home and I'm just like out there in my lawnmower, just blip, 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 mowing my lawn. And I was like, you know, Mindy, you could really profit from this if you just like shared just those text messages that you're sending me. And she was like, well, how much could I make? And I told her, I'm like, you could make $400. And she was like, well, I could do that. And so her next 2 people that she signed up were her husband and her daughter. And then she signed up a friend from work. And I was like, okay, she's going to go, she's going to explode. And then it was crickets. It was like nothing. I couldn't get her to post on social media. I couldn't get her to do anything. And I was like, Mindy, you're hiring out your family, you're doing all this, but you could really be growing other way. Well, we were at another activity planning meeting, and Maya was there, Mindy's other business builder, and it was just the three of us. And so Mindy was talking to her about weight loss, and she said to Maya, I know what Krista's doing, but I want to know what you're doing. And she said, oh, I'm doing Weight Watchers, but I'm really stalled out. And she's like, well, you should do Plexus. And I was like, oh, Mindy, there you go. So I invited Maya to our Get Health night that we were having the next week. And Maya came and she was like, I love this. I need this business. That was the whole reason she started the products. Is she is a single mom. She's got older daughters that are living with her, but they're both getting married. And she's like, I don't know how I'm going to make rent. And so when I introduced the model to her and showed her where she could make money, she was like, this is incredible. I want to do it. And I had this conversation with Jessica because I was like, I'm nervous that Mindy has stalled out. But Mindy was also there when I was talking to Maya, and it was really technically her that said, I want, you should do Plexus. And so I wanted to be able to put Maya underneath Mindy to help give her the motivation. I knew that if Maya needed the business, fell in love with the business, that she could spur Mindy on. And so that is what I did. And I crossed my fingers that it didn't burn me really badly and then I didn't make a huge mistake. But Maya took off and ran. And pretty soon it was so fun to watch Maya and Mindy link arms and run together. And so it has been those two building that has helped me build and me grow as well. And the other thing that I've done that's really helped me with my business is that I've really developed thick skin. I was not on social media at all. I was like the creeper that liked people's posts and saw what was going on in their lives, but I never posted myself. And so coming on social media, I was nervous the first month about oh, people are going to think I'm just here to sell Plexus. And then I had to check myself and I was like, oh, I am just here to sell Plexus. That's the whole reason I came back to social media. And so, the No Shame in the Sales Game did a reel today that was talking about the cold reach out and how you reached out to your Facebook friend and all you wanted was for her to try these life-changing products. And that has always been a concern for me. Is I'm like, I don't want people to think that I'm just interested in their life now. And so it's been a lot of nurturing over the last few months of reaching out to people that I haven't talked to in a few years and seeing what's going on with their lives and how are they doing with their family and their friends, and just silly little comments just even to get my Facebook profile back on their feed and back active again. And it's working. Jessica always says, they're watching. And I'm like, nobody's watching, Jessica. Nobody's liking, nobody's commenting. But last night I was at a taco night with some friends, and the friends, my husband's friend's wife, who I know, we are friends on Facebook. We have never had a relationship of any sort, but she pulled me aside afterwards and was like, what is this stuff that I see on your Facebook all the time? What is this Plexus stuff? Tell me all about it. I'm very interested. And so I will say they are watching. And so for me, that sparked this whole No Shame November when I went to Amanda with it and I said, let's link arms. We're both in the same spot here. And we are going to do No Shame November, where we are no longer ashamed of not having our lives all together. We are not ashamed of our illnesses and we didn't have autoimmune. We're not ashamed of our health stories. I used to say that same thing all the time to Jessica. I didn't have disease. I didn't have sickness, but I also didn't have health. And that's so evident when I go back and look at my pictures, when I think back on my story, when I think about where I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, I didn't have health. And so I'm no longer going to be ashamed of my story. I'm not going to be ashamed of my business. I'm not going to be ashamed of all of that. And it's bringing that awareness into No Shame November, where everything is just on the table and this is authentically me. And yes, I am here on your social media to tell you that you need Plexus. I won't sell you Plexus, but I'll tell you you need Plexus. So that's kind of my new attitude and my new mindset.
I love that, Krista. And if you hadn't been so consistent at posting, you wouldn't be where you're at. I'm
Right.
just going to say that. Like you've put yourself out there, and that's what it takes. It takes that vulnerability and realizing, yeah, I am here to sell people Plexus. Just like Apple is here to sell me an Apple iPhone. Like, because they believe in what they sell. They believe in what they offer people, right? Like if they were shy about it and they didn't advertise about all their new features all the time and how they're better than any other cell phone, they wouldn't sell them. And oftentimes what we're doing is we're like so ashamed and we're not being consistent and we're not putting ourselves out there. And what we're doing is we're actually hiding. And when we're hiding, we're not showing up for the people that really need us. And you guys, it is freaking hard. I'm an emerald and I'm going to tell you, it's freaking hard to be open and raw and vulnerable and to show up and be like, heck yes, I'm trying to sell you something. Yeah, because it'll be incredible for your health. But I want you to know that the difference in your business that will take you from where you're at now to where you want to be is your confidence about what you have to offer. Okay. And if your confidence is based off of what other people think about you, you will not go anywhere. Okay. So if somebody, I saw this, I'm just going to share it the way she said it. If somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, you're so beautiful. And you're like, oh, thank you. And then you feel beautiful for the day, right? And then another person's like, you're so beautiful. And you're like, oh, she thinks I'm beautiful. I must be beautiful. Okay. So it's external validation. And then somebody comes to you and they're like, well, you're ugly. And then you're like, well, I guess I'm ugly. You're believing what everybody tells you. And you don't have that true inner confidence of whether you think you're beautiful and you know who you are. And that's what it takes to do this business is I don't care whether you think I'm beautiful or ugly. I think I'm beautiful and I know who I am and I know what I have to offer people and I know where I'm going. And I believe in me and I trust in me and I know my integrity. That inner confidence is what will take you from where you're at to where you want to be. Okay. But you can't base your worth and who you are and what you think about yourself off of what everybody else thinks and says. So remember that confidence is key. And I see that so much in Krista and the way that she has talked to people and the way that she has led. And honestly, I know she still has insecurities. We all do. There's still times when it probably gets to her and she struggles, but she's choosing to go back to, no, I believe in me and I know where I'm going. And I think it's just so incredible the way that you've been able to see the needs in these people that you were sharing about, Krista, and you've been able to kind of just like really cater to where they were at, you know, and that is truthfully like what it takes. And it takes that confidence in like catering to where they're at and supporting them and loving them and knowing where you stand. Like the saying, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, right? You've got to know where you stand and you've got to put it out there so that other people know where you stand. And so that's really all I have to share. I don't feel like I have like, yeah.
Cole, can I add something? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So I actually want to hurry and piggyback on Krista because you guys, I want you to know something. I'd have to go back on my social media posts, but I don't really think Krista liked or commented on anything. Like when she tells you that she was kind of the stalker on social media, I confirm to that. And there may have been one or two posts that she probably said in passing to me, either through a text message or on the post, that she was happy for me. But she was silently watching for a really, really long time. She was my silent stalker. I will say this though, if I would have presented the products or the business to Krista 2-3 years ago, I will tell you this right now, and I hope Krista doesn't care that I say this, she wouldn't have been ready for the products or the business at that time. Just not like in her own personal life. So when you get those no's and you are asking people and they're like, nope, sorry, like to the products or the business, say you're asking these people to share the business and they're saying no, it's just not their time. And I'm so glad I didn't rush Krista because I actually never even asked Krista to do the business. Let's be real. She came to me and was like, okay, I'm done stalking you. Let's do this. But
I want you to know, love your people where you're at. And another thing I wanted to share is as she's talking to Maya and Mindy, who are her downline, it was her that ignited the vision, not me. She wasn't waiting for her sponsor and upline to say, hey, will you ask these women to share? I don't know Maya and I don't know Mindy. I do now, but I didn't know what their needs were in their personal life. I didn't know that Maya had 2 daughters getting married until like 2 weeks ago. So I want you to have that confidence in yourself that you are the person for people, not your upline. I don't do anything better than Krista does because Krista's the one that grew Mindy to gold, not me. And I know that if I would have been the one to go to Mindy, she would not be gold. Mindy does not have that trust with me yet. She's gaining her trust, but she already trusted Krista. So you are exactly the leader that your people need, and your upline's not going to do it for you. So I want you to know that Krista's growth and everybody's growth here is you guys. So pat yourself on the back that you've gone this far, building beautiful teams, and your people trust you. So lean into that with your confidence. So that's all I wanted.
100%. And I love that you shared that because I can do the exact same thing with some people, with every single person. And why are some an emerald and some a silver and some a gold? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I as a leader can say, hey, I know where I'm going. Do you want to come with me? And this is what I'm doing. But you are the one that has to take the accountability and to trust yourself and have the confidence to talk to your people because they don't trust me. I can't get them to do what you could get them to do because they trust you and they love you. They believe in you. But when you don't know where you stand and when they don't know where you stand, they're not going to go anywhere. So I love that you said that. And I love that she even just called Krista out in the comments and said, I gave you ProBio 5 and she wouldn't take it and she didn't do anything with it because guess what? Krista wasn't ready. And that's how I feel about my friend Tiffany and other people that I'm like, it's like driving me crazy. I'm racking my brains trying to talk to everybody about this opportunity and no one's going anywhere. But guess what? I know there are silent stalkers. I know there are people watching me. And if I quit, they're going to be like, oh, see, I knew she wouldn't really stick with it. But if I keep going, eventually I'm going to break them down. And they're going to be like, okay, she's like legit for real. I'm going to go with her. She's not going to stop. She's not going to give up on herself and she's not going to give up on me. And so really, we need to stand our ground, you guys. And I know how hard it is. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. And I have heard so many stories lately. If you do not follow, I hope I'm saying his name, Colin O'Brady on Instagram, go and follow him and listen to some of the podcasts that he's done. But he has broken several world records. And almost every single one before, everybody told him that he was crazy and that there was no way that he was going to do what he said he was going to do. And then he went and he did it and he broke the world record. Think if he didn't know where he stood. Think if he would have said, they must be right. I'm going to believe them. He wouldn't have done it because of what somebody else thought about him. And so you have to know where you stand and you have to believe in yourself and you have to have confidence in yourself and in your own intuition. And that is what will get you from where you're at to where you want to be, is your consistency and your confidence and your willingness to dig your heels in, plant your roots and say, this is where I stand and this is where I'm going. And people will follow you when you do that. So I hope this helped you today. I hope that you will take a stance. I hope that you will be controversial. I hope that you will make people uncomfortable on social media. I hope that people will see you and stalk you because it's truthfully that uncomfortableness that you're doing that's going to change people's life because nobody changes their life when they still stay comfortable. So I love you all. You are your own best leader. If you are not growing, it's because of you. It's because of your own beliefs. It's not because of your upline. I can't do it for you. You have what it takes if you want it. I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. And I hope we crush this month helping so many people earn $800 for Christmas. How incredible would that be? It would be life-changing. It would have been life-changing for me 4 years ago when I couldn't afford Christmas. or my mortgage. $800 is life changing. Go share it with people. I love you guys. Have a good day. I can't cancel it. Josh, cancel it.
Gosh, be there, babe. Thank you.
Bye.